Hey, I'm Jay Holland. This is Guided by Faith, and it is the first of the month. So, first of the month request to you, follow this. If you have not subscribed to it or follow, go ahead and click that little plus button on Apple Podcasts or the follow subscribe button on Spotify or YouTube. And would you leave me a rating or review? If you think this is worthwhile, you will help other people find it and shake up however the algorithms work if you leave me a rating or review. Now, if you remember last month, all of July, we walked through the book of Proverbs, and I talked about how whatever the day of the month is, you can read that chapter of Proverbs and get something really solid out of it. Well, because of the way the week works, yesterday, Thursday, was July 31st, and now Friday is August 1st. So the question is, what do we do now that it's August 1st? And I'll show you the beauty of Proverbs, because here's what we do. We just flip the page back to chapter 1 and we see what Proverbs has to do for us, what Proverbs has for us. And so this is going to be my last one for a while in the book of Proverbs, but I think it's kind of cool. We started with like Proverbs chapter 3 because I think July began on a Monday, something like that. We're ending on Proverbs chapter 1, not Proverbs 31, because each chapter of Proverbs can really stand alone. And we want to finish out the week, and it's a great proverb to finish on. So I didn't want to ignore it because it's so good. Proverbs chapter 1, starting in verse 10, it's Proverbs 1:10 and verse 15. It says, "My son, if sinners entice you, do not consent. My son, do not walk in the way with them. Hold back your foot from their paths." And this is such a powerful, it's so simple. I read it in a second. This is why we contemplate things. This is why we don't just read and move on and shut our Bible. We contemplate things. Okay, if sinners entice you, don't consent. Don't walk in the way with them. Hold back your foot from their paths. Why is this important? I want you to think about your friends for a minute. And this is really important because as you go through childhood, middle school years, high school years, and college age years, you've probably changed quite a bit. And the people that you start out with in elementary are rarely the people that you end up with in your adult life. Every once in a while, it works out great and you can have a friend for life. But people change along the way. So sometimes friends that were making good decisions and were helpful and a blessing at one point in your life are now a real detriment. But you've got some loyalty to them because you have years and experience with them. And you need to remember this. Your friends determine the direction and quality of your life. Your friends determine the direction and quality of your life. If you show me your friends, I'll show you your future. And you tend to become like the 5 to 7 people that you spend the most time with. And so you need to constantly be thinking about who are the people that I'm spending the most time with and what is their direction, because that's going to become my direction. The people you run with shape your direction. And so what that means is you need to kind of constantly be paying attention to their direction and what that's doing to you. Honestly, you don't want to be like the most moral friend in your group. Okay, there's one sense in which you do because you want to pursue the morality of Jesus. But on the other hand, you don't want it to be in such a way where you are constantly pulling them along, where you don't have somebody to encourage you and uplift you because you're always the encourager. You're always the uplifter. You want a band of brothers, or you want a band of sisters. You want people who are not constantly tempting you, where like to be around them means to either be sinning or be on guard. You want people that make it easy to follow Jesus. And you want to be the kind of person that it's easy to follow Jesus. And what I have found is if you can get 2 or 3 people like that, then it just becomes so much easier. You have so much joy. And it's been neat. In our youth group this past year, I watched that happen with our senior guys, actually senior guys and senior girls, where there were a lot of them who had struggled for some time to just find those friends, and they spent some time really feeling lonely, and they went through several friends as people betrayed them or just kind of lost character. But by the end of their senior year, our guys and girls had really kind of surrounded themselves with some high quality men and high quality women. And I just watched them blossom inside, and I watched them blossom outside. And what I watched is because they had a solid group of friends, their walk with Jesus grew, their service grew, and then it made other people want to follow Jesus. It took 2 or 3 to start, and then it kind of went from there. So remember, your friends determine the direction of your life. Your friends determine the quality of your life. You become like the people that you spend time with. And so all the more important, if sinners entice you, or if your friends entice you, don't consent. Don't walk in the way with them. Hold back your foot from their paths. That's what Proverbs chapter 1, verse 10 and 15 say. Why? Because your direction determines your destiny. And if your friends determine the direction and quality of your life, you don't want your friends to determine your destiny in a wicked way. Now, your friends can't keep you from hell because you have that free invitation from Jesus. But the invitation is not, Jesus, be my Savior, and I'm going to do whatever I want. I'm going to run with whoever I want. It's Jesus, be my Savior and be my King. And I want to follow you because your way is best. And sometimes following Jesus means turning from relationships that you have, turning from boyfriend-girlfriend relationships that you have, turning from friendships that you have. But it's worth it. I promise you it's worth it. And I promise you, if you seek Jesus, it may take a little time. It may take some other people move into the area. It may take you getting in a different circumstance, or it may take some people growing up and repenting. But God will bless you with those quality friends. God will bless you with that brother, with that sister who wants to pursue Jesus. And that season of loneliness is where you get to remember that Jesus is the friend that sticks closer than a brother. So my prayer for you is that you have good, solid friends, but that it starts with you being a person of character, a person that's following Jesus, a person that's trusting in Jesus, not only for eternity, but for today. And in doing so, you're going to learn that you get to help shape the direction and quality of other people's lives. And that's a really cool thing. Living on mission is an awesome way to live. All right, so that officially concludes our month in the book of Proverbs. If you want to, just keep reading through it again. But next week, I will come back with all new content and a new topic for us to talk about. I look forward to that. I'll introduce it to you next week. Have an awesome weekend, and I will talk to you soon.